This is a variety of apple called Sunset, and probably originally we planted more of these than we should have done due to an error of judgment, and because I'd read a couple of books which said that these really were absolutely marvellous apples. The nearest thing you could get to a Cox's orange Pippin, but much easier to grow. I'll pick that up in a moment. I'm picking these for cider now, actually. It's an apple with its faults. I mean, everything's got its faults. Pretty nearly everything has got some faults, but it's a really very nice apple to grow, and it's one I would encourage for a small garden. It's a very, very reliable cropper. There's really no such thing as a year when you won't get a crop on this tree. It's got a couple of faults. One is that it tends to be a very small apple. Now, as regular viewers know, I hurt myself quite badly. After a fall, I broke my Achilles tendon in June this year, and that's when I should have been doing a lot of fruit thinning. And this is a variety that really, really needs fruit thinning. I mean, look at the apples like this. Come on. You know, really and truly, they are small, aren't they? And where you can see sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 apples here. If there were 3 instead of, no, actually there's 6 here. If there were 3 instead of 6, they'd be bigger. Okay, so these are a small apple. But do you know that's not a very bad fault? We find that children like these very much. You will observe it's a very pretty apple. Well, it just is. Lots of them. They're a good eating apple. When they're really, really properly tree ripened like this, you can eat them from the tree in late September or early October, and today is actually the 6th of October, and they're really very tasty. Or if you store them, pick them cool in the morning, store them somewhere cool. They'll keep maybe, if you're lucky, until December. They do get soft in storage. Now, for a lot of people, a soft apple is, you know, absolutely terrible. Ugh, it's soft. Ugh, this apple's soft. But the truth is, a lot of apples just are naturally soft. They'll all get soft in time. These do become soft in storage. Funny thing is, they don't lose any flavour. Some of our older customers who haven't got their own teeth anymore really like that. So, Sunset, it's a compact tree. It doesn't make a very big tree. So it's a good tree for a small garden, and lots of us have got small gardens only now. People sometimes say, what about growing a tree in a pot? And I tell them, well, I'm not sure I can recommend that. But if you're going to, make the pot as big as you possibly can. You'll need to water it, especially when you're away on holiday. But if you're going to grow a tree in a pot, one word, Sunset. Sunset's a variety you want. It is self-fertile. It's a small compact tree, and it always gives a fantastic show of blossom. So it's actually a very, very attractive tree. And these fruits are just hanging on, they're just beginning to drop now. Later on we'll be picking the biggest and the best of these to go to market, and the little ones will go for cider. This tree should have been thinned in June. Didn't do it because I was in a wheelchair. There was nobody else who could do it. That's another story. It's still carrying a pretty good crop, and a lot of these apples are very fine size. It would have been better if they had been thin, but look, even so, fantastic load of fruit bud for next year. Just look at that fruit bud. Look at that fruit bud. Even though it's overcropped this year, it's still going to crop well next year. And these are going into some cider. So, Sunset, it's a highly recommended apple, as long as you understand it's got its faults. I've got my faults. Everything's got their faults. Even the sun has its faults, you know, because you can get burned and you can get skin cancer. But hey, we couldn't manage without the sun. And this is a really good apple. It's a strong recommend. That's probably about all I've got to say today about the apple variety Sunset.